Hey YouTube, how are you doing today? I am enjoying a cool Friday afternoon here in Montreal. Hoodie season has definitely started. You can feel the first winds of autumn approaching. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about something I've learned about YouTube recently, and something that is changing on my channel. And I feel like every video I've made on Dan Weinberg recently has just been talking about the evolution of my content. uh, I don't want to be one of those YouTubers who's just always talking about their own videos, but it's it's definitely on my mind, um, because this is quite possibly the largest change I've made in like my 6 years as a YouTuber. This is major. Uh, this is major. Okay, so first of all, what have I learned? Well, I think I've learned something that I intuitively knew all along, but I kind of forgot somewhere along the way. And that is that simpler is better. The simple way is the honest way, is the true way, is the relatable way. Is it? I mean, it's not the only way. I guess it's just my way. But I think for a lot of people out there, it's their way too. Because, I got inspired by YouTube, by this guy, Casey Neistat, who is making videos in New York City and just filming his life. And his camera was shaky, and his life was chaotic. He wasn't a perfect person. He was very honest about his flaws, his mistakes. But you watch these videos and you just feel like, wow, I could do that. Or, wow, this person's kind of messed up, but he's making it in New York City. I could make it too. I could move to a new city. I could start my life over. I could do whatever I want to do. That's what I mean about just simple, honest content. It really puts everyone on an even playing field. Whereas some people in the travel space in particular, not taking any shots at anyone, but let's say channels like Sam Colder, or who else is like super cinematic? I don't even know, because I don't really watch those videos anymore, to be honest. As soon as something gets like super cinematic and it's like everything is fancy editing skills, it feels like a tourism ad to me. And the thing is, I know people enjoy that content because it gets millions of views, and I guess it gets people excited to travel. Gets people, but I was always more about the people. I was always more about like, let's show the streets. Let's put you in my perspective, and you can travel with me. But over time, you get bored, I guess, as a creator. I don't know if the viewers get bored. I bet some of you guys get bored too, but I just felt like my travel videos, I had been doing the same thing over and over. I'd become a repetition of myself. And so when I sit down at a restaurant and I'm trying to show the food, or I always talk about the food, but not even the food, just like the streets. Like, where was it I went most recently? Oh yeah, in Colombia, of course. Like, if I'm walking down the streets of Cartagena, Colombia, a beautiful colonial city, it's amazing. But I don't know what I can say about that street that I haven't already said about Havana, or Guanajuato, Mexico, San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, San Juan, Puerto Rico, another place I filmed in. Like, I filmed a lot of beautiful, colorful streets at this point. And I just feel like, if I have nothing new to say, why am I saying anything? And for a while I thought maybe I should stop doing YouTube, because this is honestly how I felt inside. But the thing is, by the way, Antigua, Guatemala, that's another colorful street, of course. But the thing is, I guess I realized it's not YouTube I'm tired of. It's me. It's me. It's my phoniness that was emerging, not intentionally, but very, very subtly and very, very gradually. I was becoming something I've been listening to a lot of other YouTubers, podcasts, and just videos talking about their own creation, which is very useful as a YouTuber to hear other people going through similar struggles. And I don't know who it was who said it, but I've heard people say, like, one day you just woke up and realized they didn't like their own videos. And I was never really proud of my travel content. I mean, there's occasional videos I've been proud of. Like sometimes there's a video that you really feel like, yeah, I had it that time. Like I was on that time. And when you have those days, you feel proud of that video. You want to share it with people. But I have a lot of other videos that are the complete opposite. Like if it was playing on a TV next to me, which a funny side story that actually happened once in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I was staying at this hostel, and then the hostel owner found out I had a YouTube channel, and then he started playing my channel videos just on a loop all day in the common room. So I walked by and like my face was on the TV, and there's like some people sitting there. They're like, "Hey, is that you?" I was like, "Oh God." So cringe. The embarrassment I had in that moment is immeasurable. Immeasurable. It was probably good for views. I probably got a few extra views that day, but yeah, it didn't help my my self-consciousness at all. But the point is, the videos I've been doing more recently, such as like the one where I ask Montrealers what languages they speak or what song they're listening to. The one where I asked new immigrants to Canada about their experiences and their tips for people who want to move to Canada. If those were on the screen, I wouldn't mind at all. I would actually be like proud. I'd be like, yeah, like this is interesting. This is like an insight into the culture. I guess it's me that I don't like seeing. Which is funny because you'd assume a YouTuber likes seeing and hearing from themselves because you're constantly, well, first of all, you're constantly speaking to the camera, and then you're editing the video, and then you're sharing the video, and then like you're responding to comments about the video. It's all you all the time. It's in the name, YouTube. But after a while, it just yeah. I mean, like I don't plan to delete my videos. I don't plan to never make travel videos again. I'm not traveling right now, so when I travel, it could be different. But I'd really like to test this asking strangers questions concept on the road, because I don't see anyone really doing that. I see interview style channels. Like I didn't invent street interviews. Don't get me like. There's plenty of people doing that stuff, but they're often in places like Los Angeles that have a lot of influencer culture, and they're asking like Gen Z. They're asking the same people the same questions. I think it'd be cool if the New Travel traveled the world and asked questions. And maybe do some vlogs and stuff and show the city as well, but I'm telling you, there's something really pure and honest about like no long intro from the goofy YouTube guy, just like straight to the people on the streets. I always said that people are my favorite part of traveling, and I mean it. People travel for different reasons, but for me, it's always connecting with other people. And maybe my content is finally an embodiment of what I meant by that. It's like after years of showing the cities and talking about like, yeah, you should meet people, you should, the world's not as scary as you think. It's like I'm finally living it. I'm finally like living what I've been preaching all this time, which is kind of funny that it took me this long to figure that out. But of course, languages makes it difficult. When I first moved to Montreal, I was too shy to even like speak French to strangers. If you have been seeing my recent videos, I still get comments like trashing my French, but it was really Mexico that gave me the confidence to articulate in a language that I'm not fluent in, because I was speaking broken Spanish all the time. And after a while, I just realized, like, if I'm not comfortable mispronouncing Mexican city names, I'll never make another video again, because I'm doing this every single video. So you deal with the comments and you laugh them off and you go on into your life. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like that Montreal languages video I made is almost at 100,000 views. That one really surprised me. Really surprised me. I know language is a big deal here. I know it's touching on something that's like close to the core of Montreal, which is it's a functionally bilingual city with like a lot of English and French speakers and a lot of immigrants from other places. So it was a curious thing. I wanted to know myself, like how many languages people speak. But I don't know. I thought it was like kind of a silly little bit. I thought it would do okay, but I didn't expect this. This will soon be the most viewed video I've ever made in Montreal. Like it's really spreading. And that goes back to what I was saying about simpler being better. It's just a simple idea. It's my own curiosity. It's like, I really want to know this. I haven't seen this before. I'm going to go do it. I have a question I want to ask. I'm going to go ask it. I'm curious now. Like, I'm curious if I did the same thing in Toronto, how many languages people would speak there. I'm curious, Mexico City, like all these places. Like, I want to go back and I want to do the new concept in all these places before someone else does them all. Because, like, that's the thing about internet trends, you know. The song video, the one, what song you're listening to, that was a trend. I didn't come up with that concept at all. But, yeah. I mean, it's a new set of problems. It's like, you got to get people willing to talk in camera. You need to make sure you're not misrepresenting them. I've talked about this in a previous video. It's kind of like, it brings me a new level of anxiety. Like I was saying, I can get uncomfortable watching my own videos when it was just me. Now I can get uncomfortable filming them because it's like, it's a challenge. This is a new skill, but I feel like I'm growing as a filmmaker. I'm evolving past just a YouTuber, I guess, or just a vlogger. Not that there's anything wrong with vlogging. I've done hundreds of them, and I'll do more. But right now, I wasn't growing. I mean, I was in a certain way, like the Medellin video that was 46 minutes long. Like, I was growing as a storyteller, kind of, in that direction. That's the only shame. Like, I'm kind of moving away from longer form documentary stuff, but the honest truth is there's... That video took, like, weeks to make, and this Montreal video that I banged out in an afternoon is getting more views and earning me more money. So, right now, as unfortunate as it is to bring that side up, like, I gotta go where the money is, because this is paying my rent. This is like, you know, if these videos continue and the next 6, the next 8, the next 10 all do well, then I'll have some savings. Then I'll be able to go to other places. Like, I want to go to New York City and do this concept. I want to go to Los Angeles, do this concept. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Mexico. I want to go, like... And not just to travel for myself, but honestly just to, like, shed light on the situation in different places. I've also been thinking about going to Ukraine and asking people questions. That's the thing. I feel like if I can really nail this, first of all, Ukraine, like the tide has kind of turned. Like, I don't know if you guys have been following that, but like the Russian army was like really pushing forward, and now the Ukrainian army is like really pushing back and regaining territory. So I don't know if it's still, I don't know if it's like at all safe to be there, or like I don't know what's gonna happen in the next few weeks to months or whatever. But also winter's coming, so realistically, like I might have missed the chance to visit Ukraine and film stuff there for the time being, but that remains to be seen. It's just, I guess my point is, if I get really good at this interview stuff, there's some really meaningful stories I could tell that are not being told on YouTube, or at least there's very far less people taking that approach. Whereas the guy or girl or couple or whatever who just have like, you know, upbeat music and then the drone footage, and then you're walking down the beach somewhere, then you're like cheersing your drinks, and then you're like talking about how nice this tourism destination is. There's a lot of people out there doing that. You know it's true. I know it's true. There's just a lot of people doing that. And my biggest regret about changing my content style is actually you guys. Like, the people who have been watching for a long time. Some of you donating financially. Like, there's people... There are literally people out there who have been on my Patreon donating small amounts monthly since Mexico, since like 2018, 2019, whatever. Like, yeah, I guess it's like 4 years, man. Like, and they know me for a certain type of content. And for me to suddenly switch, it's not like I feel like I owe anyone anything. It's just, I mean, listen, I've talked about the Kinetic Cannons before on this channel. They're my friends who lived in Mexico, and then they suddenly left. They went to Europe, and yeah, I saw the comment section. Like, people feel hurt. People feel like, how could you do this to us? How could you, like, just change everything and leave behind what we wanted, you know? And there's another guy called Action Kid who was a New York YouTuber who just made videos on the streets of New York every day. Yeah, he did this big rant about how New York's not safe and he doesn't like it there and he doesn't agree with the politics, so he moved to Florida. And then he's doing videos in Florida, and then all the comments are like, it's not the same as New York. We want your New York City videos back. And it's hard as a YouTuber. You're seeing hundreds of comments, and like in your heart, you're like, yeah, I know I could be getting views, and I know that's what people want, you know. But there's another voice inside you that knows who you are and what you feel most alive when you're doing. And if you don't listen to that voice stops talking to you. That voice is there to guide you through life. And I've been listening to that voice for a long time. That voice is why I started writing. It's why I started making videos. It's why I started traveling. And right now it's telling me to follow this interview stuff, like fully commit to it and see where it takes me. So I'm not saying I'll never do another travel vlog. I'm not saying I won't eventually like show more of Montreal or Mexico or like any of these places that I've been before. But right now, I'm going to stop talking and give other people a chance to share their thoughts. At least on the main channel. This is where I'll talk, okay? This is how I think. Dan Weinberg, this is like me talking, the new travel. I mean, I'm editing a video right now where I literally don't say a word. I don't even think my face is on it. I don't do an intro. I don't do an outro. It's just like purely interview stuff. And this next one, if you think the last ones were good, like this next one's going to be, I'm really excited about this next one. Yeah. Anyway, friends, hope you're doing well. The seasons are changing here in Montreal. The seasons are changing on the new travel. And I hope the seasons are changing in your life too, because we all need change sometimes. It's how it allows us to become better human beings. And it's how we grow into our full potential and become sometimes more than we ever thought possible. You know? What's that quote? This is one of those cheesy quotes. It's like, if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. Well, right now, my dream for the new travel scares me a bit. Let's see where it takes me.